Yes, welcome back to the podcast, the Honest Eurovision Talk Podcast with your favorite Eurovision gay auntie, Henrik Larsson. Welcome back, and it's now July 15. I cannot say, where did the summer go? Because looking at the calendar, I was like, we are in the middle of the summer. Where did the summer go? But still, we are in the middle of the summer, and there's so much going on. I mean, we're now seeing it. We are seeing. I'm gonna open a can of soda. I mean, I'm gonna say we are now seeing the artists for Junior Eurovision to be revealed. I saw that Portugal has selected there, and the former Junior Eurovision singer Melanie is now preparing to maybe enter Benidorm's national selection to represent Spain in Eurovision 2026. I was like, girl, that vocal, she can sing for the gods. So maybe. But anyway, before we continue on, don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube if you want to support this podcast. Maybe share it on Spotify and add it to your Spotify list. You can find it in the links to this YouTube video, the Honest Eurovision Talk Podcast with me, Henrik Larsson. But girl, I mean, I'm gonna say, I hope everyone has had a very nice weekend. I have not posted much on my YouTube, like my shorts, because I've been away for a few days. I mean, I'm gonna say, I took a little bit of break. I am on my 4 weeks holiday, and going away to my parents' house on the countryside, it was so necessary. It was so divine, for 5 days, nothing else than nature, silence, and company. It was divine. It was the most magical. I love it. So if you need any time to relax, go on the countryside, go where it is quiet, and you'll be fine. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Eurovision 2026, and we have some mainly small T, but then we have the major T. But anyway, I know that a week ago, Eurovision News listed that the potential host list for Eurovision 2026 was revealed, and one of the names who was not on the list was the former winner of Eurovision 2025, JJ. Orf did not consider JJ as an option. Girl. But anyway, Andy Knoll, Victoria Swarovski, I think she said she will only do it if it is in Innsbruck, Conchita Wurst, Rafaela Scharredreiter, Nadia Benhard, Alexandra Maritza Wachter, Malorina Caroline Athanasidias, I don't know how you pronounce that, Victor Gernot Paul Pizzera. So anyway, we have a list, and I'm gonna say, for me personally, you can just take the list. You can take the co-hosts from 2015 and just add them to 2026, and I'll be fine, because I think they did a terrific job back in Eurovision 2015, the three hosted, so I think they can actually do it again for 2026. He'll be like, did you miss us? Because we are back. I mean, I'm gonna say, I think they can just take the host for Eurovision 2015 and just have them host again. But speaking of Austria and Eurovision, there's a little bit of uprising amongst the cultural elite in Austria, and apparently, according to Eurowa News, 620 artists, 90 institutions in Austria has signed an open letter calling for ORF not to cut cultural broadcasting to finance Eurovision 2026. It is one time. I mean, Eurovision, you have not won Eurovision in 11 years, so okay. Under the title Kein Wegsparen von Orff Kulturnachrichten und Orff Kulturprogrammen, or in English, not cutting back on Orff culture news and Orff culture programs. Writers, musicians, festival official, and others from the creative arts has written to Orff to demand not cuts to be made to the Orff cultural programming to enable the Eurovision 2026 to be held in Austria. The campaign comes at a time when ORF is having some to make financial savings due to increasing budget pressure, but also finding funds to host Eurovision 2026. ORF has stated it will cancel some programs and delay others to enable to host the 70th edition of Eurovision 2026. Director General Rolf Wichmann responded to the letter stating that ORF remains the most reliable. So my English sometimes is not good. The most reliable partner of the domestic arts and cultural scene, with the broadcasting airing over 500 hours of cultural content this summer. I'm gonna say it is expensive to host Eurovision, I'm gonna say that, but yeah, it is 1 week, but I'm gonna say, Eurovision is expensive, and I think the thing that makes it more expensive, it is, I think, the demands of the fans to, I think no Eurovision city wants, the big Eurovision influencer to come in here and be like, this is so downgraded, this is so weird, this is so not what I expected. I think they don't want the Eurovision fans to come to the city and just give the city bad PR. I think they want to come to Eurovision and have the experience with the events, the gay clubs, and Eurovision Village, to meet the artists. And then I think the fans are driving up the demands and expectation each year, and I think that is a problem. I think the Malmö did it in 2013. They just put it in Malmö Arena because I was like, why don't you put it in Friends Arena in Stockholm? I know Strawberry Arena today, but I keep calling it Friends Arena. But they want to keep Eurovision small, so I think if Austria wants to do it, they can actually do it and not do like in 2014 Denmark, who did so poorly. They lost money. But anyway, so the cultural scene in Austria are in fears that they will cut some significant programs, but hopefully that problem will be solved. But anyway, speaking of ORF also, they are now looking into to see who will represent Austria to be the host entry for Eurovision 2026. And the soon-to-be host, according to ECExtra.com, the soon-to-be host of Eurovision 2026 are already looking ahead to the next representative for the 70th anniversary of Eurovision. Austrian broadcaster ORF has stated their search for JESC's successor. And during a recent podcast fronted by Merci Cherie, stated that ORF has started their research for the Eurovision 2026 representative. In the coming weeks, Edvard Frocher and Peter Schreiber will be in charge of assessing the song's submission. The deadline for songwriters and artists to submit the proposal is September 15th. So if you have a song, you have 2 months ago to do it. In May, it was confirmed that Austria is sticking to the internal selection process. Sure, but I'm gonna say the one thing I don't want to see when it comes to be the host city, I don't want it to be safe, because this is happening every time Sweden have won Eurovision. The next year I was like, we are gonna pick something so safe. We're gonna pick the most safest ass song we have in the whole lineup, and then of course that song wins, because they don't want to host again, because it is expensive. And according to an interview the day after JESC's victory, ORF program director Stephanie Grois-Horowitz confirmed on the channel that host broadcaster Eurovision 2026 will use an internal selection method. Since 2017, Austria has used a combination of internal judging panel and live audience auditions to choose its Eurovision representative. Over the 10 years, Austria has found increased success in the process, which has resulted in three top 15 results, including a third placement and of course the win. So Stephanie Gross-Horowitz confirmed that the process will involve multiple stages. It will also be a public submission, from which a shortlist will be determined by ORF. So we are back to selecting a song, and I'm gonna say, why not? I'm gonna say, what do I expect from Austria's song though? I'm gonna say, I don't think we're gonna see anything opera. To me, I think this is the perfect time for Austria to have a pop song, because last time they hosted, they have a very slow ballad with the burning piano, and they didn't get any points. So I think I want to see a pop song. I want a pop song. I don't want a ballad. I want a pop song. What about you? What do you think? What do you want to see from Austria's host song? Do you want to see a pop ballad, or you want to see a poppy song or a ballad or a rock song? You sound off in the comment section to tell me what kind of song do you want. But anywho, we have more to talk about, because before we're going to talk about the big story of the day, we have to talk about what is going on with France in Eurovision, because according to the EurovisionSite.com, there is some investigation in corruption and with the Eurovision 2023, because according to the EurovisionSite.com, the French authorities have opened an investigation involving France Television's focusing on the organization of Eurovision 2023 and the Nice Climate Summit, both held in Nice in 2023. The case centers of suspected misuse of public funds, conflict of interest, and falsified documents. I never thought my podcast would be a true crime story, but here we go. According to France Info, Nice Mayor Christian Estrosi and his wife, France 2 journalist Laura Tenododji was taken into police custody this week. Tenododji co-hosted the opening ceremony of Eurovision 2023, an event for which the city, led by Estrosi, allocated over €605,000 in public funds. Investigators are now examining whether Tenododji's role in the public funded event managed by her husband administrations constitute a conflict of interest. Well, I can say for sure maybe. Anyway, France Televisions, which broadcasted Eurovision 2023, has also become a part of the investigation. Oops. Its president Delphine Aeronautic-Kunze, which is also the president of the EBU. Alongside several senior employees, which summoned by authorities as earlier this week, police carry out a search at the broadcaster's offices and at Nice City Hall, seizing documents for further examination. The investigations initially stemmed from the complaint by the local Green Party councils over the city's financial involvements in the Nice Climate Summit. However, the scope was since expanded to include Eurovision due to potential overlaps in public funding and appointments. Oh God. Anyway, since in response, France Televisions issued a statement confirmed its full they are working with the police. France Television is fully cooperated with France Television will fully cooperate with the investigation and reserves its explanations for judicial authorities. I'm gonna say, and this marks for the first time. And this marks for the first time that Eurovision has been caught up in legal scandals of this scale. Contests built on creativity, inclusion, and youth participation now finds itself under scrutiny for transparency in how it is hosted. God, now we are looking into your Georgia hosting. with Georgia GPB set to host 2025 edition following the 2024 win. The controversy in France may prompt closer attention how future bids are managed, particularly when it comes to use public funds by organization broadcasters. I mean, I'm gonna say that is the thing with Eurovision. You don't see, it is not very clear that the winning song is then the host country, because we have seen, I think it was like that in the first 10 years, that the winning song, they usually didn't host it later on, but now certain countries have won and then they hosted. Georgia won with Andrea Putskaratse to my mom, and I'm gonna say, and Georgia was like, we want to host, and I was like, yeah, sure, we have never been to Georgia, so yeah. But I'm gonna say, I saw also the fact that this can actually hurt France for Eurovision, that France maybe potentially have to withdraw. I was like, oh, so we have now that Cyprus is coming back to Eurovision, but then France have maybe potentially have to withdraw from Eurovision thanks to this scandal. I was like, ooh, the scandal of it all. And yeah, but if they demand France to withdraw, I mean, I'm gonna say, if they have to withdraw, I'm gonna say they have to withdraw, because we don't want any scandals. I don't want any scandals, at least. But we shall see. We shall see what happens with this one, because yeah, I never thought I would see the day when you know, we have some legal issues when it comes to France in Eurovision. I think I never saw the day coming, but hey, here we are. So, anywho, where is that news about France? Yeah, here. According to Eurovision News, following allegation of corruption at Eurovision 2023, France reportedly withdrawing from the competition. They are reportedly. So, yeah. We shall see what happens, but girl, I never thought that, like I said, I never thought I would see the day when we have a scandal like this. Can't be right back. Yes, welcome back. I took a little short break, refilled my glass here with some Coca-Cola, and, you know, say hello to my hubby, because it is 11 in the morning and he just woke up, so I was like, have a quick talk. But we have to talk about the big story that broke almost a week ago. I know I'm very late with this, but I mean, I'm gonna say, according to Luxembourg reporting, a neo-Nazi planned terror attack was planned on Eurovision 2020. I told my mother the story, just quick about the story, and I was like, this is one of the few times I'm glad Eurovision 2020 was actually cancelled. But we have to talk. According to this article, I'm gonna read the article, give me my opinion, but a Luxembourg court heard disturbing details on Tuesday of a foiled neo-Nazi plot to attack the 2020 Eurovision using chlorine gas and explosives. Wow. On Tuesday, the fourth day at the trial against the neo-Nazi Franz Strassen took place at the Luxembourg City Court. Prosecutor presented evidence of concrete plans to attack the Eurovision 2020 Song Contest in the Netherlands. This is when Duncan Lawrence won. Investigators uncovered a Google Doc titled "Fun Time for Eurovision 2020 for a better, less over-accepting future. Why is those people always nuts?" Co-authored by a 23-year-old defendant and a Dutch accomplice. The document outlined multiple attacks methods designed to maximize casualties, including poisoning attendees from cyanide or ricin. I mean, basically, they will die of lack of oxygen. Deploying chlorine gas to trigger fatal crowd panic, distributing gas via ventilation system or custom-built rockets. What is this? But wow, this is one of the few times I was like, okay. Police confirmed the site chlorine production materials rocket prototypes during raids. The pair also plotted to infiltrate security teams and block emergency exits. Our operation under the synonym operation under the nickname Jag Rollig, or Swedish I am funny. The defendant also planned to assault at an oil depot in the Swedish town of Nacka, outside Stockholm. Alongside a former accomplice, he prepared detailed plans and already identified a weakness on the on-site fence. The defendant has Swedish origins, and his mother lives near the depot in question. The second plot targeted Dutch power infrastructure, with the defendant having a document reconnaissance of transformer station and electoral appliance. Wow. Prosecutor emphasized the defendant's deep far-right radicalization, citing his distribution of bomb-making tutorials, active role in extremist propaganda, and recruitment effort for the neo-Nazi network. Woo! Wow. Anyway, in October 2019, the defendant contacted the eco-fascist group, the Green Brigades, I don't know, BREGADE, to propose an arson attack on Swedish. Wow, this fella feels like he has planned this for due to more. I mean, more Swedish target. I mean, wow. I don't want to. Wow. Looking into this article, I'm gonna say he has apparently planned to do more harm. Let's do a quick Google here at the same time while I'm sitting here. There. Terror attack. I mean, let's have another article, shall we? We can take the one from ESC Extra as well. I mean, I'm gonna say, yeah. Wow, okay, someone called Alexander Holmberg. I don't know, I don't care if you don't want him to say, if I want to say his name, but girl. But anyway, according to EasyExtra.com, in February 2020, Luxembourg forces arrested an 18-year-old radicalized man in the town of Strassen, neighboring the capital city. This last day, his trial for several terror and weapon law charges took place in the 12th criminal chamber of the Luxembourg City Court. During the auditions, the press, the public learned that one of his targets was the 2020 edition of Eurovision. I mean, girl. I mean, I don't know what to say. Alexander Holmberg was born in Sweden, grew up in Luxembourg. Investigations described during his trial revealed that a year spent living with his mother back in Nacka in 2015-2016 led to his radicalization. And conservative teenage at first, he ended up embracing as much more nationalist and neo-Nazi ideology, encouraged by conversation with radicalized individuals online. Okay, so one of those not cases, but this is scary. This led him to join far-right groups, being recruited into the Base, a fascist neo-Nazi organization founded by the American called Rinaldo Nazzaro, who also resides in St. Petersburg. Nazzaro himself recruited Holmberg, who joined the Swedish cell of the Base in late 2019. He also joined an affiliated organization called the Brigades, now believed to be inactive, which advocated eco-fascism and an ideology recognizing the reality of climate damage, but with a fascist twist, an idea of pre-industrial, ethnically homogeneous and sometimes with English is not my thing. Patriarchal land and lifestyle. I mean, I'm gonna say, wow. So they were planning to bomb Eurovision. I mean, I'm gonna say that, like I said, investigation showed the parcel of nails may have been intended to use against Swedish airline SAS, which Holmberg despised due to its commercial showcasing a multicultural ethical diversity of Scandinavian countries. But a Google Docs file on his drive also hinted at a potential attack on Eurovision. I mean, okay, we can talk about it again. The title Fun Time at Eurovision 2020 for a better and less over-accepting future. So he wants to be not all whites. Okay, got it. The document shared with his Dutch individual considered an accomplice by the Luxembourg police. In the files, both men had plans for several angles of attacks over the events, which was due to be held in Rotterdam until it was eventually cancelled by the COVID crisis. His chemistry skills. Okay, so this was a smart nut case. Holmberg seems to favor chemical attacks, poisoning visitors with cyanide and ricin, and using chlorine gas to create panic in the crowds, distributing them via ventilation system, and even custom-built rocket. Wow, the two accomplices also planned an infiltrating security in order to block venue's exit. These were very clear meant to cause as many casualties as possible. Yeah, I think if people think that Israel participating in Eurovision will be the end of Eurovision, I think if this actually happened, this would be the end of Eurovision. This is so disturbing to read about, but I'm gonna say there are not cases of people out there who believe this stuff, and apparently he was one of them. I don't know about you, just sound off in the comment section, tell me how you feel about this whole situation. I find it very, very scary, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say, I don't understand these people, because if you don't like people who are mixed diversity, culturally, non-white and all of that, why bother? I mean, why bother engage with them? Just focus on yourself. I don't understand. If I don't like someone, I don't plan attacks on them. I just ignore them. So they can do the same. If they don't like the gays, the non-whites, and all of the cultural stuff, just be in your all-white bubble and just ignore everything else. But no, they have to attack. They have to attack. This is so disturbing, but wow. Sometimes we have Eurovision is not glitz and glamour, and it is about reality too. Reality in a very disturbing way. So anyway, what do you think about this whole situation, this planned attack, the investigation into France for Eurovision 2023, the host list, and all of that? We have much to talk about today. So yeah, sound off in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube and on Spotify. And I'll see you another time. Love you.